So this is about a DNS. So three things: Active Directory, DHCP, DNS. Three main services. So we are discussing DHCP. Again, most common. You have a mobile phone, laptop, anything. So once you are connected in a network, like you want to communicate in the network, so you need an IP address. So DHCP server will give you IP address. It assign an IP address to you, so then you can able to communicate in the network. Another service which is most important in a daily life. One is a DHCP, second one is DNS. In daily life, daily we are using internet. Without DNS, we cannot use our internet kind of stuff. Okay. What is DNS? Again, domain name system. Of course, DNS server is there and DNS protocol. So DNS is a protocol and as well as a DNS server is there. So domain name system, port number is 53. What is DNS server will do? It maps name to IP address. It maps name to IP address. That is one. What is DNS server? And what DNS server do? How it is works? What is the use of this DNS? So I will explain in the single sentence. Here it is. Okay. So you open a web browser. You try to open one website like a facebook.com, gmail.com, javatpoint.com, right? You try to open, okay, a google.com kind of stuff, right? But to communicate with this particular server, like you want to communicate with javatpoint.com server, or maybe you want to communicate a google.com, or you want to communicate youtube.com. Okay, so you want to send a request or you want to communicate with that one, you have to communicate with the IP address. So we need an IP address of google.com, but you don't know. So what you do, request to DNS server and ask IP address of www.google.com. So then what is DNS server will do? DNS server return the IP address of a google.com. Now we can reach to google.com server with an IP address. See guys, I am having a PC. This is my PC. Okay. This is my DNS server, my local DNS. Now I want to communicate. First of all, I am trying to communicate something like a google.com or a facebook.com. Okay. So it's a very big one. Okay. Something like a www.google.com. This example I will take it, and it is still big one. Okay. So google.com, I put it a web browser. I don't know IP address of this google.com server. Okay, somewhere the google.com server is there, no? www.google.com server is there. This is www.google.com server. It has an IP address. Okay, it has some IP address. I don't know this IP address. Then what to do? Our PC will send a request to the local DNS server. Who is our local DNS server? How we know who is the local DNS server? How we know? ipconfig /all. See, in our adapter, it is configured with a DNS server. Okay, we are configured with a DNS server. This is my DNS server address. Of course, I got multiple IP addresses, so these three are we can assume that these three are a DNS server. Both are same name. Both are same, right? Both are same. No values. Okay. So this is my DNS server. This is my DNS server. So request go to the DNS server, and it is asked, I want an IP address of this www.google.com. So DNS server will find the IP address of www.google.com and returns, take this IP address. This is the IP address of www.google.com. So this is how DNS will do it. How the work, what is the work of DNS? So I told one point here, what is DNS, but this is another one. DNS server return the IP address of google.com. Okay, DNS server returns. It maps name to IP address. When you give name, you will get an IP address of that mapping. So yeah, I'm adding one more point here. Where is this dot kind of stuff? So how to get this dot? It is no dots here, no problem. Okay. DNS server. DNS server returns the address of a host and domain. Like this also. Returns IP address of IP address of a host in a domain. Returns means it will giving to you. Okay. So this one is also it is okay. Look good. Okay, so here it is. This is a simple example to explain it. Guys, always remember all communications by IP address only. All communications are IP address only. So there is some example explanation for a DNS. So this is a commonly asked question, like a compare with your mobile phone contact list with your DNS. Okay, so that's why this example is you have to tell that is. So mobile phone contact list, guys. I have a mobile phone. In my mobile phone, for example, I have my mobile phone. I have my own phone number is there. That is good, right? I have my phone number. But to communicate to anyone, I want their phone number, right? For example, I want to call to Tarun. What I need, Tarun phone number is required. Or I want to call to this Saujanya. Or I want to call to my father, mother, or my sister, my brothers, or maybe my our sir, like Charan sir or Madhu sir. I want to call. So nowadays, so many numbers are there, na? Earlier days, very limited phone numbers. So you can easily remember 2, 3, 4 numbers. Very easily remember. 5 numbers, easily remember. Some people are there. They can remember 10 numbers, 20 numbers. Now, day-to-day use, how many phone numbers we required? Okay, daily, how many phone numbers are required? Not only one number, two number, right? In college, only one or two people, but while you are out of college, so many people. Even you are communicate, not communicate, but there is a phone number. So what we are doing, we'll create a contact list, right? We'll create a contact list. In this contact list, what is the thing? First is name of the person and phone number. In contact list, we save name of the person and phone number, right? So I put a Tarun number, some numbers, so 912345 something. Okay. Now I want to call to Tarun. So what I will do, I'll go to open my contacts, search for a name Tarun. Okay, so there is a dial button. So then press the dial button. Then call goes with the number only. Okay. So how many contacts you have, how many names you have. But originally we are all communicating with the phone number only, not with the names. Names are for our understanding. Names are for our understanding. Same way in our internet, we are all communicating with the IP addresses only. But we cannot remember all the IP addresses like www.google.com, www.facebook.com, or mail.gmail.com, something like that. So lot of website, Microsoft.com, YouTube.com, studio.youtube.com, YouTube.com, studio.youtube.com, docs.google.com, Java T Point, W3 Schools, Microsoft, learn.microsoft.com, docs.microsoft.com, Amazon.in, Flipkart.com. Okay, so daily we are maximum using 10, 20, 30 websites. What we are using, we cannot remember all their IP addresses, right? So what we will do it. So when you are trying to communicate with the particular address, request go to DNS server. DNS server returns an IP address of that one to you. Then you will communicate with the IP address. That is a similarity between mobile phone contact list. Guys, understand that example?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So comparing the DNS with the mobile phone contact list, or while you are explaining about DNS, you can also explain the mobile phone contact list. Example for a DNS server, DNS records kind of stuff. So contact list, in that one we have a name and phone number. When you want to call to someone, then you open the name and you press the call button. And call goes with a phone number only, not with a name. So your telephone department does not understand names. It will understand phone numbers only. So that is a DNS. Okay. So DNS will tell IP address of some other system. Okay. Like a contact list will tell the mobile number of someone's phone mobile number if you are created that contact list. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
host,
You tell.
host, host is like only website or other thing also there.
Host is actually, that's a very good explanation is there. Very good, very good. Just now, I'm showing one thing. www.google.com, and I'm trying to ping it. Generally, guys, in the olden days, when you want to open google.com like this, or not only google.com, any website you open, so immediately in the bottom of the screen, while it is opening, bottom of the screen, it shows IP address, but now it is not showing. Okay, so first of all, I want to send a ping request to google.com, but I don't know the IP address of google.com, right? First I'm getting an IP address of google.com, then I'm doing pinging. So this is the IPv6 IP address of google.com. Okay, I didn't told which one IPv for IPv6. By default, I am getting a IPv6 address of a google.com. counter 4, then it is IPv4 address. So this is IPv4 IP address of google.com. Okay. -4 means, of course, guys, still we are using IPv4 and IPv6. Okay. So both v4, v6 both are using. Not only 6, only 4. Only 4 may be there. Either only 4 or 4 and 6. Only 6 is not much. So if you want to ping with the only 4 kind of stuff, like only 4 IPv4 kind of stuff, -4 you have to tell. So you want IPv6 only kind of stuff, then it is IPv6 part. Okay. So depends upon their priority and IP address. So very simple. First I'm getting an IP address, then I'm communicating with the IP address. So this is the your ping part. Next, you ask one question, that is a very good question. That is, this is a main part in DNS. Domain, again guys, the domain means it's just a name. Domain means it is a name or a grouping things into one single domain kind of stuff. For example, you have a google.com, facebook.com, youtube.com is there. No? So here I'm taking only google.com. It is a domain name. And in this domain, we have a DNS server. Think like this is my DNS server part. I said no name to IP address part. Okay, so this is www dot, sorry. This server name is www. So the total name is www.google.com. Okay, because it is under google.com, I have a server name www. So if it is a server means it also having an IP address. So this we call it as a host. Guys, host can be a computer. Host can be a normal computer like a PC kind of stuff, or it can be a server, or it can be a device. A device. Mobile phone also we can call it as a host. Host or a device. Okay. It can be a server, it can be a normal desktop, like, but host having host name and IP address. And this host, this www host is under this google.com. So the name is comes like this. You know, I am opening gmail.com. Gmail.com. Okay, it's a name only, but when you see it is gmail.com name is mail.google.com. Can you see? Mail.google.com. So this server name is mail, for example. Server name is name, mail, and full name is mail.google.com. Of course, it is a mail server. So this is a server, so it has its own IP address. Next. Of course, we are using these slides, right? So which site it is? docs.google.com. So I'm accessing Google Docs. So it is a docs.google.com. It is another server. Okay. Next one, I want to go to meeting. Meet.google.com. It's a camera. First of all, I have to stop. Otherwise, you will. Very good. So important is meet.google.com. Meet.google.com. So freely we can meet it. Okay. So that is another server. Not only these servers, there are a lot of servers are there. Just for understanding, guys, whether it is really how it is there, what is the real names. We are not discussing that one. Okay, real names may be different. Okay, but just for understanding, this is www server. It's a web server providing web pages or a search engine server. It provides a search, like we can able to search anything in a www.google.com. Mail.google.com is a mail related server. It is another host. docs.google.com means docs is a host or a server which provide docs services. It is under google.com. Meet is a meeting related like a web meeting related, right? So it is that kind of server. It is under google.com. That's it is meet.google.com. So each individual server, like each individual machines having their own IP address. So I have opened www.google.com, right? I will try docs.google.com. See it is. So maybe may not be same IP address. So we'll see where is IPv4 address. 142.250.192.110. Okay. See it is 142.250.182.68. This is different. First two are same. 192.110. 182.68. www kind of stuff. Mail.google.com. It is. It's completely different from this server to this server. All are google.com only. But what is this? Different host having a different IP address. Meet.google.com. This is also similar. First two are same, but remaining is different. It's a class B now, so yeah, okay. So maybe this server and this server, this server meet.google.com, docs.google.com, www.google.com are almost like in a same place, nearby servers only. It is a little far away. The mail.gmail.com, it may be in a little different place. Okay, guys. Understand the difference? Everything has their own IP address, but all are in a same domain only. Same thing like in this DNS server, so www.google.com has their own IP address. If you want to type IP address kind of stuff, mail.google.com has their own IP address. docs.google.com has their own IP address. Meet.google.com IP address stores in this google.com DNS server. So it is which domain name it is? Google.com domain. Under google.com domain, we have a different servers. Each server has their own name, and each server has their having an IP address. Each server providing different type of services, of course. So you want a mail related service, you must know the IP address of. You must know the IP address of mail.google.com. Okay. How will you get? You have to contact this DNS server. You will get this information. Of course, there is a full hierarchical structure is there. So that is we'll discuss that not later, now only, but first point is this one. Guys, understand host and domain difference?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes.
But what is this? What is this completely? I said this is a domain. This is host. This part called a FQDN. Here it is in this one only. Yeah, this is example I shown now. Yeah, if you ping it, you will get a first IP address, then you will communicate with the IP address. And this is, you guys see, you have a computer. The computer name is mapped to your IPv4 address, your computer is mapped to your IPv4 address. That is a NetBIOS name. Computer NetBIOS name is your computer name. Okay, your computer name is mapped to IPv6 address called LLMNR. Okay, LLMNR. So you want to know what is LLMNR? Link local multicast name resolution is a protocol based on a domain name system packet format allow both IPv4 IPv6. That is differently telling from Wikipedia. But I have read in my Microsoft textbook. There are two naming resolutions built in a Windows to help a system to find address name from other devices on the network. Okay, so if any computer is in my network, I can able to understand by mapping NetBIOS or LLMNR. Like your DNS, we have a service called a Win service, Windows Internet Naming Service. It is like a DNS only. It is a older and nowadays we are not using. It is also a naming services and it is a name servers, naming services kind of service is naming service, server is name server. So Windows Internet Naming Service. Problem with the Wins is it's not like a DNS. It works with only Windows kind of stuff. It will only understand IPv4 kind of IP addresses only. It does not support IPv6 and it does not support FQDN type of things. It means Wins support like this. Only www, mail, DOCS, meet only, not www.google.com, not mail.google.com, not docs.google.com. Means the domain name kind of stuff it does not support, and it is also does not support IPv6. It support only IPv4. Why? Because of it is not developed further, and it is a Windows related protocol only. DNS is a universal protocol irrespective of what kind of operating system, what kind of system you are using. Any person can use DNS kind of stuff. Okay, that is the point. So NetBIOS, LLMNR name to IP address, IPv4 and IPv6. FQDN means a fully qualified domain name. It's a combination of host name and domain name. Sometimes you can also combine with the subdomains also required. This is my domain name and this is my host name. Server 1 is a host name and contoso.com is a domain name. What is the FQDN? server1.contoso.com. If you go to this one, see it is. This is a server name is server1.sales.south.contoso.com. It means that is your FQDN. Sometimes it is also includes subdomains. Sometimes are not required. Okay, so this is about a FQDN. So again, I'm telling, so www.java-t-point is a FQDN. Mail.google.com is FQDN. Okay, my question is, okay, understand guys, what is FQDN? Fully qualified domain means domain name plus host name. This is FQDN. This is a FQDN. This is FQDN. Understand FQDN?
Yes, sir.
I'm asking very general question. What is this completely? This entire complete line. Entirely https://www. What is this line? This entire one. Entirely. What is this? You know answer, but you're not getting in mind. What is this?
URL, so right.
Uniform resource locator or resource locator anyway. Uniform resource locator. Okay. So this is our URL. URL. The total we call it as URL. HTTP or https://www.google.com, java.t.com, w3schools.com, or you open something in it, like I open Python it. So this is also complete one URL. This is also URL. Or maybe if you open something separate ones, this is also URL. Or this is also URL. Okay. So whatsoever it is, say URL. Okay. URL. So that is the different. Domain is different. So domain is only this part is domain. URL is different. And when we are explaining for understanding more easy and with what is in your handy, I'm telling you about a websites related only. Other than websites also there. Okay, other than website related is also there. For example, I am using a mail communication. So mail server is there, and mail servers in the domain. Mail server is in the domain, and the domain and the mail server name is host name. Domain name is domain name. Combinedly, FQDN is there. Okay, like that. Okay, so this is about your naming conversion, guys. FQDN. That is your answer. The last one is this explanation is there. Okay, so guys, these are a very important points. Only what is DNS, domain name system, what is DNS server will do, what is port number, and how DNS works. Like you don't know the IP address of something like facebook.com, youtube.com. So you try to open a website like a youtube.com website, or you try to open a facebook.com. But your system does not have IP address of facebook.com. System send a request to DNS server. DNS server returns an IP address of facebook.com. So then we are able to communicate to the facebook.com with an IP address. And all communications are with the IP address only. Okay. So a comparison example is mobile phone contact list. In our mobile phone, we have a contact list like a name and phone number. When you want to call to someone, my friend, I want to call. So my friend name is, I open my friend name, then press the call button. Call goes with the phone number. That's it, guys. You want to add some more example, that is ping example. So just for example, you can do ping to google.com, ping space google.com. So first of all, we'll get an IP address, then we'll communicate with an IP address. We are getting reply from the remote PC. Okay, that's it. That's it. If you understand up to here, that is good. Okay. Up to here, understand, guys, what to tell, what is an answer kind of stuff.
Yes, sir.
In this one, I told only one thing, like you don't know IP address of google.com, you ask a DNS and DNS server will give you an IP address. That's a very simple way I told. So up to that one is important, guys. What are I am going to tell next? It is also important because you may not get that information again. Maybe until unless some old person is teaching you a DNS. Maybe you join any non-online courses, like you go to offline courses. and a person is a world person is like a want to tell everything in an exact manner, the person may give you an information. Mostly won't get this next information, how the DNS works in the internet. Okay, so that is I will explain. So listen carefully, that's it. Okay, if you don't get it some point, also I will explain, no problem. Okay, but you have to divide the thing into two parts. Okay, so this part completed. Okay, next guys, this is a DNS server. Who is my DNS server? Again, that is also question is there. Who is my DNS server? My router is my DNS server. This is my DNS server. This is my DHCP server. This is my default gateway. Who is my default gateway? My DHCP, my Wi-Fi router. My DHCP server, my Wi-Fi router. My DNS server, my Wi-Fi router. Guys, it is just a Wi-Fi router. In the world, there is billions of domains, hosts, IP addresses kind of stuff is there. Billions of IP addresses are there. How many name and IP addresses will can able to map in a one Wi-Fi router? So really no, right? In generally, in your Wi-Fi router, we are using as our DHCP server and default gateway plus DNS server also. This Wi-Fi router does not contain any DNS related information. Does not contain any DNS related information. Okay, no names, no IP address. No names, no IP address. Okay, so what I told this one is wrong? No, it is not wrong. It is correct answer only. You ask your DNS server, you will return an IP address. But I didn't say DNS server has the information, right? No. DNS server will give you, your local DNS server will give you that IP address, right? Answer is correct, but this Wi-Fi router kind of DNS servers cannot store any kind of special information. Guys, same diagram. This is my PC. Okay, my computer, it is my PC or a laptop or a mobile phone or anything. This is my local DNS server, which means usually my Wi-Fi router. I try to open some website, for example, docs.google.com. Normally, I use Microsoft.com related, like Microsoft, len.microsoft.com, technet.microsoft.com, docs.microsoft.com kind of stuff. Okay, but I'm using docs.google.com. See this docs.google.com. I open this one. Request will be sent to your local DNS server. So this is what we call local DNS server. Local DNS server. I'm asking, I want an IP address of docs.google.com IP address. I want an IP address to DNS server. So DNS server don't have any IP addresses inside. Okay. Then it will forward this information to a forwarder. Ask, I want an IP address of docs.google.com to a forwarder. What is this? It is nothing but a forwarder. Forwarder. What it is? It is a forwarder. Okay, this is R. Forwarder. This forwarder is maintained by ISP. Anyway, we have to communicate through the ISP, right? Anyway, we have to contact ISP. You are forwarding your packet. to the forwarder, which is maintained by ISP, and you put a question that is, I want an IP address of dos.google.com. These forwarder also don't have this information, but forwarder contains root hints. Root hints. Root hints. What is a root hint, guys? This is certain root hint servers are there in the world. There is a 13 root DNS servers are there. Root DNS servers are there. 13 root DNS servers are there. Okay, so they are telling like this dot type. Okay, so root DNS 13 are there, maintained by ICANN. Maintained by ICANN and IANA. Maybe you hear those names. IANA, ICANN. Yeah. ICANN and IANA maintaining these 13 root DNS servers. So root hint means these 13 root DNS servers IP addresses. The root DNS server name is A, B, C, like that. The first one name is A, second one name is B, third one name is C, kind of stuff. So totally 13 root DNS servers, IP addresses available in this forwarder. So what is this forwarder will do? You try to search which is the nearest root DNS server. It will try to search which is the nearest root DNS server, and it asks, give me the IP address of .com server IP address. Give me the IP address of .com. This is some root DNS server. This is a some root DNS server. Okay, either it can be A or B or C, depends upon nearest one. So we got some root DNS server. Root DNS server contains .com, .org, .net, .in, anything like a XYZ. So many kinds of stuff. .co, .in. Guys, I will tell what it is. Top level domains. For example, I want to create a domain. I want to register my domain. I want to register my domain with my domain name, or I want to create a website with a certain domain name. What to do? I want to create my own website. So what to do? First, you have to register your domain name. Then you have to host it. Okay. So you can go to GoDaddy, Big Rock. Okay. So different hostinger kind of stuff. Okay. Trust this kind of stuff. This you have to verify this website whether genuine or not. This is hosting builder to boost WordPress website. Free domain for 1 year. Free SSL certificate. Very good. View plans are there. 30 days money guarantee. Per month 169 rupees per month. This is per month. Data center is in USA, but cost is in rupees. That is a good thing. Okay, that is for hosting part, and somewhat you are getting some website from it also. Guys, this is GoDaddy.com. First of all, we can host the website. First of all, you have to register it your domain name. For example, I want to register my domain name like a Latif Tech Solutions or Latif Tech. It is searching, it is .com. You want to register in the .com, you have to pay this amount. You want to register in .in, this is the amount. .ch, .com, .co, .in, .co, .com, .xyz, .net, .org, and .com. What is this kind of stuff? These are all top level domains. What is this? Top level domains. So each one is a server. Each one is a server again. Okay. It is a .com server. This is a server. Means it has an IP address. .com server IP address. .org server IP address. .net server IP address. .in server IP address. .co.in server IP address. .online. .store. Okay. .xyz. Desi kind of stuff is there also there. Okay. .india. .online. .live. Okay. So different type of top level domains are there nowadays. So earlier only 3, now it is lot of things are there. .com means commercial website. .org means organization related. .net. .net means it is network related kind of stuff. Now people are registering under different type of top level domains. Guys, these are all top level domain. Means each one is a server itself. This is .com server. This is .org server. Kind of stuff. .net server. So separate servers are there. For example, I want to build my own website. So then I want to register a domain name. So I went to godaddy.com or bigrocks.com. I register my domain name like this, latiftech.com, by paying this amount. Of course, I'm getting free web builder, including free privacy protection forever kind of stuff is also there. So what happened when I register latiftech.com, then latiftech.com register under .com server. Register under .com server. Now, if I said I have a IP address, I have a server with certain IP address kind of stuff, then also we can assign an IP address to it. Like if you host, then definitely we need an IP address, then automatically you got IP address. I'm not doing anything next, it is latiftech.com. If you have IP address, then it is also, it will tell IP address. For example, I will say that I am creating a website, so something like Latif service-batch.com. Sorry, it's not .com, right? It is become .org. If I register .org, then it is Latif.org. Okay, guys, understand top level domains?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there are 13 domain servers, no, sir?
Root to DNS servers.
Okay.
Okay. Root name servers are a DNS servers is managed by IANA. So Internet Assigned Numbering Authorities. IANA, ICANN will. Yeah, you can go to details also. So like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So different spread onto all over the world. In India also we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth one is in Bangladesh, I think so. 1, 2, 3 are there. One Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai. Okay.
They just find domain name, na?
It contains top level servers like a .com server, .org server, .co server, .in server. These servers IP addresses. Okay. These are different servers. These server IP addresses available in root DNS servers. That's it. Okay. The forwarder asking root DNS server, I want an IP address of this .com server. So then it will give .com server IP address to the root DNS server. It will give the IP address. Now forwarder know .com server, then forward send a packet to this .com and ask, I want a google.com. Okay, main registration is google.com and subdomains are a host registration separately it is there. I'm asking a google.com IP address. So in this one in .com, so how many are there? LatifTech.com is there, google.com is there, google.com IP address is there. Means not host, the domain DNS server's IP address. Separate DNS server IP address. So google.com DNS server, LatifTech.com DNS server, Microsoft.com DNS server, or maybe a Facebook.com DNS server. Okay, so those information is available in .com. Like you Tarun is a Saujanya created a Saujanya solutions.com. Then Saujanya solutions DNS server means the name server related information stored in .com with name and an IP address. Okay, so I ask google.com. So totally first is I found .com, then google.com, next is .doc, right? So then I found the IP address of google.com, then I'll go to google.com server. It's a DNS server, right? Okay. Usually by controlling, so we can able to maintain this thing also. If you see really how it is works. In this one, I have a mail.google.com, www.google.com, docs.google.com, meet.google.com. Like this, I have those hosts IP address is also available. IP address of www.google.com, docs.google.com, meet.google.com IP addresses. Finally, I ask this google.com, forwarder is asking this google.com, I want a docs.google.com IP address. Of course, we have that information. Now it is returning to the server. This is the IP address of docs.google.com. Now forwarder finally has an IP address and it will forward to the local DNS server. It will forward the IP address of docs.google.com. And local DNS server now it is having a local DNS server also having a local DNS server also now got the IP address of docs.google.com and it is forward to the our PC. So in your internet, when you open a website for first time, Okay, fresh, not a first time. Any website, you open a website. So you don't, your PC does not know about IP address of this www.w3schools.com. What happened? This is happens. Request go to local DNS server. Local DNS server to forwarder. Forwarder will forward a query and it done the all the query part. Means finding out .com server address and go to .com, find out w3schools.com and find out www.w3schools.com. Finally find an IP address and give it to the local DNS to our PC. Okay. So this is called as secondary level domains. These are top level domains. These are secondary level domains. Okay, secondary level domains. Okay, subdomains also available. So depends upon the domain kind of stuff. Subdomains generally you can find like this is mail1.contesto.com. See, the client is requesting local DNS server mail.contesto.com IP address. Local DNS server forward to the forwarder. I want an IP address of mail1.contesto.com. Forwarder first try to find .com server IP address from root hints. Once it is found, it asks .com. I want an IP address of contesto.com. Then it go to contesto.com and ask for a mail1.contesto.com IP address. Now it is given IP address to the forwarder and forwarder forward that IP address to local DNS server. Local DNS server forward that IP address to client. Now you got a client, got an IP address finally. Now the client will contact this devos.google.com with IP address. Okay. Guys, you may get a doubt. If this much of big process, but when you open a website, most of the time it very quickly it is coming, right? So when I open w3schools.com, very quickly it is open, right? So of course, website sending a data, whether it is light data or big data, that is depends upon time will take it. But the response of initial response itself, I've got very quickly. Why? Because of most of the time daily I open these websites regularly, obviously, right? So already once the query is completed, once I got an IP address of a certain thing, right? w3schools.com or a google.com, devos.google.com or youtube.com. You know, in my PC, in my browser, mainly in my browser, go to history. So in this, you can see cache memory, cookies, cache memories. Okay, in that caches, the information stores repeated data. It will stores, of course, and also it stores the IP address information. Next one is so okay, daily I'm using. But what about the people we are not using daily, but suddenly today only I open. Today only one website I open. But it is responding very faster. I got very faster way IP address first, then immediately I got a new one. Okay, so I got a response. How it is possible, guys? This ISP also maintain cache DNS. ISPs also maintain cache DNS. What is cache? Store temporary, right? So it maintain a cache DNS servers. It means once you've done a query, the query like a devos.google.com query, you got IP address. You store the IP address for some time. You open a Microsoft.com. You got an IP address. You try to open Microsoft.com. You got an IP address. You store that IP address here. Okay, so what happened when anyone is trying to open a website, if already information is there in the cache DNS, it will give it from there only. Instead of searching from entire this part directly from cache, it can able to give answers if it is there. If it is not there, then it will has to search completely. There's a lot of things are there, guys. Iterative queries, recursive query, and stuff. There is a DNS records also there, so zones also there. That is the main point here. That's enough for a DNS, guys. Again, I'm telling this is very important. So what is a DNS? What DNS server will do? Example for a DNS. Explain with a DNS example. Okay, and another example is mobile phone contact list. That is enough for a DNS. Okay, this example also you can give, but remaining is just an optional part, just for our understanding. I don't know whether these people will ask that explanation or not. The depth of DNS is also we don't require. Just understand how it is works, how we are getting an IP address. Okay. Okay, guys, this part.
Yes, sir.
Yes.